They won't understand what you're doing. You barely do. So why are you allowing anybody else outside of what you're trying to learn to influence you? Because they're going to influence you. Why? Because you love them. That's normal. I did the same thing. And not one of my family members, not fucking one of them, said, you know what, Michael, you fucking deserve that shit. If anybody's going to do it, boy, you are going to do it. You're going to fucking be the trailblazer. You're the fucking one. Not one of them even gave me a fucking encouragement. Oh, like, I hope you do well. All of them said, yeah, right. You're going to be just like the rest of us. The rest of us? The rest of us? Motherfuckers, you retired. We're still working in retirement right now. I've been retired. Every one of my family members has money owed on their fucking homes if they own one. I have family members in my wife's side that are all broke. And I've tried helping them. I've put them in homes. I've put them in vehicles. I've given them money. And they still shit the fucking bed and blow themselves out. Some people you can't help. You can't help everybody in your family. And you think, I'm going to tell my friends because I love them. They're my boys. They're my girls. It's my clique. It's my people. It's my tribe. It's my circle. I'm looking out for them. I'm going to tell them what I'm doing. That's what multi-level marketing capitalizes on. The tendency for humans to want to do that. I'm telling you, don't. See a difference in the way I'm teaching? I'm upside down to everything else. Because this is what works. Fuck the bullshit. Your friends are going to want to learn what you're doing once you arrive. Then you'll have experience. Then you can probably tell them better. Right now, it's a pipe dream to you and them until you really do it. Stop making your fucking business somebody else's business to run. Mind your own fucking business. And don't let nobody else run your fucking business. They ain't going to run it like it needs to be ran. Their input is menial and minuscule compared to what you're expected to do on your own here. Putting the work in, showing up every fucking day. They're going to take days off, every fucking day off to them. And you're going to let them into the conversation by saying, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing this. This is my goals. And they're going to feel like what? Oh shit. They got a goal. They're trying to do something. Most people don't. They're trying to muster up enough strength to get out of fucking bed to drag their ass to work. And you're talking to them how you're going to change your whole fucking family tree. You're changing the whole trajectory of your finances going forward. Supercharging it for all of your siblings and offspring behind you once you arrive. Nobody wants to hear that, especially when they have no resolutions in their own life. Consider your friends right now. Who among your friends are successful? Chances are you probably don't have many friends that are successful. Most people don't. I didn't. I was the one. I was the one that grew up out of all that bullshit. And I tried my ass off to bring them with me. I had just barely enough, sometimes not enough, to keep myself going, let alone encourage them when they felt the adversities. So you're asking to win something that you can't win. That's a battle that you can't win. You can't encourage them when you haven't done it yet. And the only thing you're really doing is wanting them to think that you're making money moves. Hashtag making money moves, baby. You're living social media. That's what you're doing with your fucking friends, face to face. The best thing you can do is don't invite them to shit that you ain't proven to yourself yet. And don't invite criticism when you haven't even found your way yet. First rule of Fight Club: we do not talk about Fight Club. You don't tell your friends, you don't tell your family, you don't tell your coworkers what you're trying to learn here, because they're all going to give you a report card. And they're going to give you an interim report. So, how you doing in your so-and-so? Making any money yet? I see you're still coming to work, motherfucker. That's what you're going to get. That's what I got. Until that day, until that fucking day when Wheat gave me the move I was looking for. Fuck all of you. I'm out. Peace. And I told him keep my last fucking paycheck, and I never came back for it. And he never mailed it. Think about that. Yes, that's what it felt like. I didn't give a fuck. And you won't give a fuck either. You won't care about all the people that you know would have doubted you if you brought them into the conversation, but don't bring them into it. Don't do that. Because it's going to be distracting. Because you love your friends, and you should. They're extended family. And you love your family. Even though it's dysfunctional as these motherfuckers are, you love them. You don't want them over your fucking house on Christmas. You don't want to see them on Thanksgiving, but you still love them. But these are the same motherfuckers that you're about to invite to the board meeting of the corporation You Incorporated. You're making them fucking honorary board members of You Incorporated. What the fuck are you doing that for? You already don't want to spend time with them, but you're going to invite them to the conversation about how you're going to find success doing this. Don't do that. Don't do it. You're setting yourself up for failure right away because it's going to be mentally draining. Not only do you have to keep up with the pace I'm going to put you through and the natural learning curve of going through the process yourself, because this shit isn't easy. You have to wrestle with yourself. And you're inviting all of the toxicity that lazy motherfuckers that everybody has in their family and their friends and their coworkers. Look at what your coworkers, look what you get away with at work. Some of you motherfuckers are listening to me fucking off on Twitter Spaces while I'm going off. And you should be working. You're cheating the man. You're getting paid to do something, and your head's in the fucking charts, listening to ICT fucking videos on the slide, keeping your fucking phone hidden underneath your fucking coffee cup, moving shit. Let me see where he's at right now. I'm gonna, yeah. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you're trying to cut corners and slacking off, how do you think your friends and coworkers are going to feel when you start finding success? It's going to cause static. Versus, now let me give you the flip side of this. This is the right way of doing it, and I'm done. Quietly just go about your fucking business this year. Learning. Collecting information. Exercises, doing the drills, the homework assignments I'm going to put you through. Show up every day. You don't fucking talk about it. If you know your fucking spouse would lose their fucking mind about what you're doing here, just for this year, you don't say anything. If you can't make it work, it was no harm, no foul. You'll never hear them complain to you about, see, I told you, or you fucking did this and did that. Just quietly do it. It's not costing you any money. They're not going to be mad. But they will be mad if they think that you have emotionally and psychologically committed to something and then you can't find success with it. They're going to constantly find a way to constantly bring that shit up in your face all the time. Remember that one time when you thought that guy on the internet, that fucking scammer, he said he was going to do this, do that, and all of a sudden, what happened? Nothing. You're still fucking working, you fucking failure. They're going to throw it up in your face. Maybe not to that degree, but it'll happen. It'll come up when you don't want it to. The best thing you can happen, best thing you can do is just go through the process of learning how to do this quietly. Keep it personal. Your business is your business. You're at the helm. Don't make no waves. Don't be no waves. No static unless you make it. And how you get static? You got to rub up against something.
Order filled.
Friends and neighbors, co-workers. Keep this part away from everybody. Guard it. It's a seed right now. A small little seed. You can choke that seed.
Order filled.
You don't want that to happen. Let it germinate. Let it do what it needs. Let it take some roots. And then when that bitch starts growing and producing fruit, you ain't going to need to talk about it. They're going to see it. You're going to be doing shit differently. And when they find it in their heart to ask you, hey, what are you doing differently? There's something peculiar about the way you're living your life now. What was the changes that made you do what you're doing here? You look like you're finding success. And what the fuck's going on? You stopped coming to work, man. Where you been? Then, guess what? You're equipped to talk about it. And you have been there. And you can say, yeah, this is the way I learned it. and this is what the guy said I should have done, and he was right. And other people that aren't going to listen to this, they want their girlfriends to be a part of it. Nope. A divided mind. Nope, can't have it. Because you're all going to do things differently. You're going to see a buy, they're going to see a sell. Wait a minute, what makes you? And you're going to get animosity, like it was with my uncle when I tried to teach him what I was learning. I'm not sure if you heard that. That's my oldest son in the house. He's playing Xbox Live. He must have killed somebody. The point is, keep the focus on you. Do not invite other people to be able to provide you a commentary or give their opinion about why you're doing what you're doing, why it should be done differently, or why it's a waste of time. You taste it yourself. You find your own success, and everything that you would want to share with them, you'll have experience and the receipts to share it.
Order filled.
And you'll be much more effective in doing it. Right now, you don't know anything. You don't have any way of encouraging them except for the upside that's possibly there, but you don't know because you haven't done it yet. And you don't want to be
order filled,
that friend that got somebody involved in meme
order
stocks
filled,
like these people on Reddit did. How many people you think had static in their friendships now after, hey, look, we're all in this Reddit group and this and that, and we're all going to make money because we're going to beat the hedge fund managers. Well, they're all fucking broke now. Hedge fund managers still there, but all those people on Reddit are regretting life right now. So don't invite toxicity. Don't make a divided mind condition where you have friends and family members or coworkers that you're trying to make profitable with you. Because I even did that with my uncle who knew about trading and was able to make money by luck and sugar. Made some money, bought a condominium down in Ocean City, Eastern Shore of Maryland, which was an accomplishment back then. But he couldn't find, he still can't. And I'm going to be honest with you, he's miserable. He retired from Verizon, got a buyout from Verizon, would spend an hour and a half one way driving down to Virginia from Maryland. Okay. Owes more on his house than he has ever owed. And the house was $80,000 back in the 80s. And he owes more than that now, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. In debt, retired. And once he retired, he ran a lawn cutting business. And now he's delivering auto parts for, I don't know, some kind of auto parts place. And I asked him, I said, why are you working? No reply. He's miserable. He's not doing what he wanted to do as a young man because he had a taste of it and never could do it. And what was his problem? He couldn't accept, and he said it right from his own mouth when we drove around one day, and I told him, I said, I want to help you learn how to do this. He cried to me, broke down and cried and admitted, he goes, every time you tried to tell me something, I wanted to do whatever you said and do the opposite of it because I'm jealous. I brought you to this. When you were 15 years old, I was talking to you at your grandmother's house. 14 and 15 years old, he was talking to me all the time. Richest people in the world, Michael, trade futures and options. Get yourself a good job. Go out there and become an electronic technician, like he was at the time at Westinghouse, and learn how to trade futures. And I didn't want to hear that shit. I was like, what the fuck? I'm in martial arts. I don't give a shit. I wasn't even interested in girls. I was martial arts. I'm going to have my own martial arts school. And here I am running up a fortune in his home, renting his bedroom from him for $50 a week. He watched me do it. And he and his wife would ask me to pay for vacations, pool liners when they needed one. New fence was that was it. That was the breaker for me. That's just like, you know what? I'm getting taken advantage of. Raise the rent if you want. Okay. But stop asking me to pay for stuff. And I moved out. That was the uncomfortable point I needed to get out of there. But I tried to teach him and he wouldn't do it. Everything I said, he would do the opposite. And then when I heard him tell me in tears, he goes, I'm jealous because why does God let you do this and not let me? And I said, you ever stop and think that God allowed me to learn how to do this? And now I'm your nephew and I could literally hold your hand doing it, But your ego and pride won't let you do that. Family members and friends aren't easy targets to save and change from their present state. You can't fix them. They want to fix themselves or they won't fix themselves. And my uncle was a perfect description of someone that's in denial. They don't want to learn from someone that knows how to do it because they have personal conflicts that they're wrestling with. Here I'm sitting right there in front of him. I'm telling him, I'm buying this right now, Uncle Stan. Call your broker and do the same order right now. What does he do? He fades it and goes the other fucking direction and then loses his fucking money and he's stomping around the fucking house, throwing shit around the house. And I'm like, what's wrong? You can get the target? Are you still holding it? No, I don't talk about it. And later on, he's pissed off smoking cigarettes and he's not a smoker. I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking cigarettes for? I just started. What? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. You start smoking, you're middle aged, okay? And I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna say nothing. He goes, where'd you get out in Bonds? 15 minutes before it closed. You went long. I sold short today. I said, what'd you do? Put it in the wrong order? He goes, no, I went short. I know. I don't want to talk about it. Well, apparently you do. You fucking brought it up. Okay, I'm walking away from you. You're bringing it up. And everything he did in his account, he showed it to me. Everything was fading me. Does that sound like someone that is trying to do the right thing or trying to compete with their
Order
nephew?
filled.
It's competition. So friends and family and coworkers are going to do what? It's going to invite that same social media arm wrestling match. I'm better than you. You're better than me. Oh, I hate you. You got more influence over more people than I do. I'm jealous of you. Fuck that. That does not make you money. And you can't fix your friends and family and coworkers. You can't. You don't know what you're doing yet. Once you're able to do it, you can say, hey, this is what I did to do this. And it's going to take a lot of work. There it is. It's easy to do it that way. They're not going to fault you because they see what you're doing now or then when you get to successful level speculation. And it removes any invitation for someone to bring toxicity to what you're doing and distract you. I've already warned you up front. It's going to be painful. It's going to be boring. It's going to be work. It's not going to be easy. You're going to feel like you're second guessing yourself all the time. Feels like you're never going to get it in the beginning. And it's normal. It's all part of this. It's absolutely part of every facet of learning how to do this. Nobody tells you that in their coursework. Nobody tells you in advance. And I told everybody before they join in on mentorship, it's going to be hard. And it would be better for you not to fucking join. The last group, I tried to talk them out of it. Guess what? Some of them realized once they got in, wow, this is a lot more than I thought it was. Yeah. You're competing with yourself. And look how formidable you are when you want shit your way. You're just like me. They name roads after you, one way. And if you're used to doing it your way, and your way is counterintuitive and counterproductive to how I'm telling you the proper way of learning how to do this is, this wrestling match is going to go on a long time before you relinquish your grasp on what you think you should be doing and how you should be learning versus someone that knows how to do it and can do it and is teaching you properly. And stop arm wrestling me. It's a whole lot of mental baggage that you have to contend with when you're brand new. Things that you're going to worry about that aren't really worth worrying about, but they feel like they should be worried about. And the things that you should be focusing on and concerning yourself with, you're not going to want to do it because it feels like there's no benefit in that right now. And that's where people fall victim. Trading, once you know what you're doing and know what you're looking for, is easy. Finding successful, profitable setups is easy. Absolutely easy. It's next to impossible in the beginning because you're in the way. You want to be taught this way, this style. You want me to put my videos up by this time of the day. All of that is going to be a conflict internally for you. And you have to adjust and adapt, just like you'll have to do as a speculator. The markets aren't going to deliver a setup every single day like you want it to. You might go in with a bias that's bullish, and it gives you a clear reversal. You know, if you try to do what you're trying to do at the beginning of the day, now it's going to result in a loss. Are you going to take the reversal? Some of you will be, nope, I'm never going to do that. And that's going to close my charts. And guess what? That's wisdom. Others are going to be more flexible and say, you know what? This is what I was expecting. It's not there. It's obviously going to go lower. I'm changing gears. I'm adapting. I'm going in there. No problem. Guess what? Does it make you a better trader? This means that you know yourself better than the next person. And others are going to say, fuck you. I'm not going to change my bias. This is the way it is. And if I get stopped out, I'm okay with that. And guess what? That's wisdom. You know yourself. You're not going to be wrecked emotionally and psychologically because you took a loss. You know that chances are you're probably going to lose, but you're going to follow this system and you're going to keep the loss at a minimum. Okay. All three of them are right. All three of them have different results. All three of them are comfortable with the results. See a difference there? Versus it has to be the best outcome all the time or it's unacceptable. That's what new traders like me, when I first started, that's what I thought was realistic, and it's not. Books and teachers and gurus have a tendency, and I am guilty of this too. If you just watch a few of my videos at certain points, it sounds like it's a sugar fest. Like it's just easy, go out there and pluck the dollar bills off the tree and it's going to be a cakewalk for everybody. No. If you listen to every one of my videos, you'll hear me talk about what I've been bloviating here. You're going to have to work your ass off. And you're going to have adversities. You're going to have things challenge you. And that's good. You want that, because when you go through those moments and you press through and you can still find consistency, you're never going to be fearful of going into drawdown. It isn't going to be a factor for you to want to quit. And you need that, because there's going to be lots of things that's going to make you want to quit. The easiest way for you not to want to quit is don't trade with live money until you know exactly what you're doing. Because everybody quits when they start trading with an account with real money before they should. Everybody quits that. Everybody does. That's why the percentages, if you believe the statistics, that's why it's so high that 90% of them lose their account the first 30 to 90 days. That statistical probability that is always going to shine through on a trader that has no model, no respect of risk, that goes in there and just keeps on buying, over leveraging, adding more contracts, even when they're in drawdown. That type of stuff results in that.
Order filled.
And think about what they've learned. The books say all the same shit. Sure, they might say control your losses and, reduce risk and have a stop loss, but they don't teach you how to wrestle with it. That's what I'm telling you in all these boring parts of these videos or in these spaces. This is the stuff that you need. You need this. You need this more than you need an entry pattern. You need this more than you need to know how to know when a fair value gap is going to stay rejected. Open. You're making mountains out of anthills. And you're trying to climb Mount Everest in shorts and flip-flops with other things that are more weightier. Like, you're avoiding the things that I'm telling you, that this is the stuff. This is the stuff that's not in books. This is the stuff that you're going to have to wrestle with, and it's going to be the catalyst for you to quit. How do you endure it? How do you identify as this is normal? I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't do the foolish things, and I will get the results I'm looking for. It won't be a straight line from start to finish to success. You're going to have this ebb and flow, up and down, peaks and troughs. And every one of those things needs to be logged as an experience. What you feel, what anxieties that you feel. Not that you're beating yourself up, but you want to recognize, it's realistic for you to recognize, admittedly, I'm feeling apprehension about going into the market because the market looks like it's indecisive right now, and I don't have a clear depiction of what I think the weekly chart's going to do. But if I have to make a decision, I would side on the market going higher. And this is why. And then at the end of the week, you go back and refer to how you felt about that instance. If you're right, you commend yourself. I'm glad that I was able to have the confidence to record in my journal, not take a trade. Okay, totally different. Because what you're doing is you're fortifying your mind with positive self-talk. Even when you have a bad negative response to an engagement, we'll do a live session, right? And I'm expecting the market to do certain things. And maybe humanity creeps in that day and you see me get it wrong. You're going to go into your journal, if you journal at all. You're going to say, oh yeah, ICT got it wrong today. I'm second guessing all this stuff. This probably feels like a scam. This isn't working today. This pattern didn't work. If there was a smart money entity out there, it wouldn't have ever let this fail. The algorithm's probably being changed. Everybody's watching the live stream. All this negative stuff you're dumping into your journal or holding it in your head is going to compound over time. And it's going to prevent any new understanding or learning by your experiences with the content and me sharing it with the live. You won't learn. You're building up walls. And it feels like you're protecting yourself from a letdown. You don't want to do that in your journal. In your journal, if you do something wrong or if we experience an outcome that was not favorable, like we were wanting something to pan out in the marketplace and it doesn't happen, you can go into your journal and say, okay, this is what we were expecting. I was expecting to see this happen in the market, but we observed this. What I've taken away from this instance is I shouldn't be worrying about the amount of money, because even though this was wrong, it would have been a measured amount of risk that it's palatable for me. So this is not a letdown. This is not a chasm that I can't cross. It just means this is a speed bump. And I'm excited to learn how I'm going to be able to accomplish the restitution of any drawdown that this could have created, but hasn't. And I'm thankful for that. See the difference between what I would otherwise would have been said by somebody in a tweet. Man, I fucked up today. I took that trade and it was a fucking loser. Man, I'm never going to get this. Think about that. Some of you may not tweet that, but you're thinking it when you do stupid shit in your demo or your funded account. Versus what I just said moments before that. We're recording positive self-talk. You never, ever, ever beat yourself up in reflection. Never do that. That's why women look, and young men too, look at themselves in the mirror and they think they see an ugly person. They think other people see an ugly person because maybe someone said something stupid to them on social media, or they are not getting recognized for what they think they should look like, and they start having hatred toward themselves. You're ugly. I need to do this. I need to lose weight. I'm going to starve myself. I'm getting a nose job. I'm getting whatever. Instead of learning how to cope with it and say, you know what? That person might not find me terribly attractive, but fuck them. I'm not sleeping with them. I don't have a relationship with them. I am going to find someone, if I'm not already in a relationship with somebody, and they're going to love me for who I am because I'm providing them a wholesome partnership. And I want that. And they see past what I look like. So it's self-talk. That's something that I had to learn when I was battling high anxiety. I had debilitating anxiety. I had agoraphobia. I had a fear of being. I could never have done what I'm doing with you right now. I don't know how many people are listening or even staying with me this long, but I would never be able to do what you see me do today. I would be too concerned about the opinions of other people because of who I am. You know, the way I was raised, I was brought up, and I have deep scars that were childhood based, not trade based, not performance based. Okay. But they're childhood scars. And I've lived my life, even at 50 years old. I can tell you honestly where I feel these things. And it's because of things that I encountered as a child, not having my parents raise me, not having the affection or the encouragement of my parents. So I teach my kids hard, but they all know I love them. They all know I'm looking for them to do well. And that's when I'm talking to them in these presentations and you feel like I'm talking to you. That's why you like listening to me, because you get that father figure mentality from me, because I am being the father to my kids here. When I'm talking like this, I'm thinking of Caleb. I'm thinking of Cody. I'm thinking of Caden. I'm thinking of Cameron. I'm thinking about them. They're in my mind as I'm talking. Sometimes one face more than the other because of the things that they do or things that they won't do when I tell them to do it. Programming, because I was passionately seeking how to do it on my own. Instead of going to a class and listening to a guy bloviate about shit that, may or not even be the best way of doing it. But you're following a process. You paid for these credits. You're going to the class, whether it be online or in person, and you're expecting to fulfill this GPA to pass it, and then you get your certificate. And that certificate means fuck all. But well done. You've wasted time and money investing in something like everybody else does in every other pursuit, unless you secure the job. Now, if you get the job and you love your job and you make really good money, then you are a success. But what happens, and I'm just posing this as an argument here, what happens if you work really hard to get through that college and you get your certificate and you get a high GPA and you get hired at the job you're trying to go after and you make the money, maybe even more, than you were hoping to make. But then you find out you fucking hate it. Do you have a plan B for that? Most people don't. A lot of people go through college, work very hard, do very well, get into the career they thought they wanted to do. When they get in it, they don't like it. Do you have an alternative? Because that's a lot of time and money to be investing in and not knowing for certain. Versus a skill set like this that can be a complement to anything that you're doing in life. Another stream of income that will help maybe replace whatever mistake you made as a career pursuit, or fulfill something that you failed in, because some of you dropped out of college. Some of you failed in college. There's room for all of you here. All of you have a place at this table. And you can come from all different walks of life. Impoverished nations, well-to-do. I have all kinds of students, and they're doing well. Not every one of them, but I have students across a wide spectrum of different demographics, countries, language barriers, all of that stuff. It wasn't formidable enough to keep them from finding success. So you have no excuse this year. None. Not a valid one, at least. Are you going to show up every day? Are you going to dismiss anybody and anything that would be a distraction to you learning? My advice to you, and I mean this sincerely, don't talk about it. Okay? This is Fight Club. You ever seen the movie Fight Club? First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. That's the first rule. That means you can't hear someone else's asinine opinion about what you're doing and learning unless you invite them in the conversation. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They have no idea what the fuck you're doing. And if you try to explain to them, they're not going to understand. They're going to think you're fucking crazy. First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. That means your friends at work, you work with them. That's it. You don't make them partners in your endeavor on learning how to trade. You're not taking them out of that fucking job when you start making money, right? So why the fuck are you bringing them along right now? You want them to feel like you're getting ready to make some changes, man. You're making some fucking waves, and you're riding that motherfucker out on your surfboard and leaving them behind. And you want them to know about it before it even starts. Don't. When they come to work and you ain't there no more, then they'll know. Send them a fucking card 3 weeks later. I'm on the beach. Fuck off. See you. Your family. First rule of Fight Club: we don't talk about Fight Club. When I was going through school, my whole idea was to become a computer science major and be an information systems manager, where I wanted to be a systems analyst. I wanted the programmers to work for me. I would tell them what I wanted them to do. Code it this way. I want this as the outcome. We learned COBOL. Okay. It's not as active anymore. We had CICS. When I was learning computer programming, we were using mainframe. Okay, the big reel to reel shit. Yeah. And C+ was just becoming a thing. Just becoming a thing. So today we have all kinds of languages that I couldn't even sit down and even begin to know. Like, I just don't know. And I haven't done it for so long. And anything for coding, like when I have like easy language stuff for like TradeStation, I have a friend, Logan, he does all that coding for me. He's done it for years for me. And I tell him, this is what I want this to do. This is what I want this to do. I want this to do this. I don't want it to do this when this does this. And there it was. Long-term friend that I've met, and he does all that work for me. But when I sat down and looked at the things that other people say they have a struggling point with, for instance, take Jack Swagger's books, Market Wizards. In my opinion, Market Wizards 1 and 2, they're the only ones that matter. The other shit, whatever. And if you're listening, you're one of the people in that book, you know, it's not to be disrespectful, but, you know, I just didn't enjoy any other volume in that series. The first and second one's great. What I liked most about those interviews is they talked about their barriers. They talked about what mattered to them. What was the things that were on their mind at the time when they were doing their trades or learning how to trade, how they came up. You know, they didn't talk about what Jack was trying to do most of the time. I'm sure he probably cut most of the shit that they talked about in their interviews out. Otherwise, the books would be very, very long, right? But the things of importance to me would have been hearing how they dealt with certain struggles and what they did with it. Did they just cast it aside and say, fuck it, I'm going to fail with that every time I touch it? Or did they take in consideration that they could bring something to the table and elevate that struggling point to a strength for themselves and other people? Remember, I'm that guy at 11 years old was told by their grandmother, you're lazy, honey. You're lazy. I'm not fucking lazy. Give me a thing to focus my attention on, and I'm going to find dozens of ways to do it exceedingly well. Because I want it to be easy for me. I want it to be second nature for me. And I'm trying to instill that on my young children. And it took time for me as a 20-year-old to figure this out. And my older kids they still wrestle. They're still wrestling with me. And I'm telling them, trade this way. Don't try to do these other things. Caleb looks at other things in the charts that don't matter right now because he has attention issues. Okay, he looks at other things, and I'm trying to keep his attention right here, this right here. Okay, and I'm trying to include that also when I'm doing my markups and my analysis. When I'm looking at the chart, I'm trying to highlight the actual portion of the fractal I'm only focused in. And I know some of you look at the chart and you think just because I have all those candles on the left-hand side of the chart showing that they're pertinent to what it is I'm trading. They're not. There is a segment of price action I'm working within, and it's the dealing range. I'm either looking for that range to be broken to the upside and targeting external range liquidity, or I'm looking for it to trade into a range above or below the existing range it's created. So that's all trading is. That's all it is, folks. And you're trying to make things much more complicated, and you accuse me of complicating things. I'm not. But the problem is many of you want to go through a 5-minute video and me explain everything in 5 minutes, and you can't do that. No one can. No one can. There's so many things I've already covered in this discussion here that you probably never considered. Like, shit, I never really thought about that. Right. And others in here probably listen to saying, this is bullshit, a waste of my time, and you're never going to make any money. I'm promising you're not going to make any money because you're coming in with this same expectation that I had when I was 20. I want it easy. I want it spelled out exactly like this. I want an ABC 1, 2, 3 method that I know will work all the time. That's what I wanted as a 20-year-old. That's exactly what I wanted. Because the books that I was buying made it seem like that was possible. And when I was blowing my accounts, hey, guess what? Something's wrong with this logic here. I got to figure out what the hell the real story is. And most of it was coming internally, manifesting itself in my trading, feeling a strong desire to prove myself because I was scarred by a family member who I loved. So I manifested that tendency to overcompensate, proving to myself that I'm perfect, and I have to be in at the highest high when I'm seeing a bearish divergence on stochastics and I'm bearish on the market. I have to be in there. I have to be in there. If I don't do that, my grandmother is going to say I'm lazy. That's how it scars you. That type of shit scars you deep when you're, well, wired like I am, which is not normal. And I'm not claiming to be normal. That's why I'm a very difficult mentor to learn from, because I have real mental baggage that I can't overcome. I can't. And therapists and all kinds of other bullshit, it ain't going to fix me. So I turned it into a strength. I sat down in an evening on the weekend, literally crying tears over these fucking charts that I could not figure out. I'm looking at these charts thinking to myself, I know I'm going to be able to do this. I know I can figure this out. But why the fuck can't I get this to be consistent? Why can't I find, this pattern to trade the bond market over and over and over again? I know it can be done. I see the moves after it happens. Why the fuck can't I see it before it happens? Because I was looking at 30 different ways that other people said in books. And when I was buying their VHS bullshit, okay, I was trying to catch up with whatever I thought was happening right then and there. I was trying to form fit something after it starts moving. So my weakness was what? I needed to have confirmation, because I was afraid to step out there and do something and be wrong, because consequence of being wrong was detrimental to me, because I beat myself up mentally and emotionally, because I would refer back to what memory? My grandmother saying, honey, you're lazy. And all she was talking about was me being unable at 11 years old to shovel a half a ton of fucking rock and line it around a swimming pool on a day that was almost 100 degrees. And I had already been delivering picnic tables, living with my grandmother, my other grandmother, my mom's side. And I delivered picnic tables with him all morning, picking them up. I'm 11 years old, frail little boy. Okay. I wasn't a man. I was a little kid, and I'm tired. And treated lumber, 8-foot long picnic tables, is fucking heavy as shit. You gotta walk over, flip it up on the back of the pickup truck, ride on the back of the pickup truck. Unsafe, I know, but it was fun as fuck. Get to the place, and then they want you to walk it around their backyard delivering for $5. And I got that money. The $5 delivery charge he charged, I got that. That was my compensation for helping him. But I had done 7 picnic tables that day. And it's hot as shit. And she's like, you want to come and spend the night? Sure, Grandma, I'm on my way up there. And she was, wait there, I'll pick you up. She picks me up, get up there, a glass of iced tea, a couple cookies. Okay, well, here's what I want you to do. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't get this done today. And I was hot. I went back in to get something to drink an hour and a half later, or something to that effect. And she's like, that's all you got done? Oh, honey, you're lazy. That was it. I never went up there again. And I was angry. And it's the last time I spoke to her. Like a grandma type thing. But it scarred me deep. Now, my mom's side, my grandfather knew I wasn't lazy, because that man would not let me fucking be lazy. Okay. He would wake my ass up with the kick of the door. Get the fuck out of that fucking bed, boy. If I was 1 minute past that fucking alarm clock getting off. He was a Navy man. No slacking in that fucking house. None. Shit was done. It was done on time, and it's the way it was. I did not want to disappoint that man. He was not my father, but I looked at him like he was. And every time he told me to do something, I was done. Already done. Already done. Took care of it. Good boy. Good boy. That's why I tell you, I wish he could see me now. I know my grandmother is in heaven. And if she can hear me, I know she probably regrets saying what she said, but I'm glad she said it, because it motivated me like a motherfucker. It motivated me and pushed me like I am today still. I'm 50 fucking years old. And this shit jacks me the fuck up every time. I'm hard on my boys the same way. You need that. That's what a father's supposed to do. I'm not raising fucking kids to be their buddy, to be their friend. Okay. I'm teaching them life skills. This fucking world is going to take from you. It's going to take. And if you're an adult and you're working, you know what it feels like. It's not what you were hoping for when you were in school. I can't wait to get out of high school. I'm going to do what the fuck I want. No, you're doing a whole lot more shit that you don't want to do for less money than you should fucking get. It's a lie. The American dream is a fucking lie. So you got to do something other than the American dream. You got to find your own way of doing it, your own business. You formulate your own approach to doing shit outside the lines they've colored for all of us to be within. Fuck that shit. So laziness is not where I am. I've not been lazy since I was 11 years old. I've worked all the time. And every time I put my hands to anything with the market, the end result, the destination is excellence. That's what I'm aiming for. That's terminus. Excellence. And if you ain't doing that when you're doing this, studying and trying to learn and working towards it, you ain't going to make it. So you got to change your mindset and your outlook on how you're going to approach learning, who you're going to learn from. Is it a constant bunch of bullshit, nonsense, and drama? Or are you learning from somebody that's taking you into a chart, saying this is what the science behind this is? This is when it should do this. This is how it should happen. This is what it should look like. And does it fucking repeat? Is other people making money? Are they proving that this shit works? Is it transferable knowledge? Because if it's not transferable knowledge and it's all reckless bullshit where stop losses are ambiguous, well, sometimes I'll use a stop loss, sometimes I won't. I'm going to go in and do full leverage to get back a loss because I have to have social equity increase on my social media accounts. Can't be looking like I'm losing money when you're trading recklessly. All the emphasis is in the wrong shit. Public approval. Fuck the public. I don't give a fuck if you like me. I don't care if you like me. I show you everything. My fucking mental baggage, my fucking weaknesses. I tell you everything. Everything. I pushed myself this week into a setting when I know I cannot do well, just to prove to you, yes, this shit that I'm teaching you will fucking lose in areas where I tell you to avoid it. What I do? I get out there, 2 trades, losing trades. I could have kept that from you. I could have hid that from you. But I'm trying to communicate that if I'm going to do what everybody else is fucking doing, guess what? I'm going to have the same lackluster results that they're going to have. Shit results is what it is. I don't want that. I can't tolerate that. I'm not wired for that shit. I want precision. It may elude me at execution here or there. I don't give a fuck. I'm aiming in the right direction. I'm aiming for excellence. I'm going to hit it every fucking time. Every time. Perfection, might miss the bullseye on that one. But excellence, that's where the fuck I reside. I live there. And you need to change your fucking address. You need to reside in Excellenceville. Okay? Right now, you're hanging around people on social media. These motherfuckers don't know how to do anything. Nothing but influence and create worshipers. I don't want you to worship me. Don't worship me. Put your fucking sleeves rolled up, show up, take notes, learn. At the end of the year, you're going to be a different fucking person. Period. This is the way it is. If you put in the time and do exactly what I tell you to do and avoid all the other shit, you will be able to do this. Between the high and the low, everybody ignores that. The books talk about, give me the entry signal at the top, at the diversions, at the pattern height in a bearish scenario. And the target, well, it might get down there. We don't know for certain. Here's the thing. I'm teaching you, you don't need that to happen. How liberating is that? How fucking liberating is that? Because I struggled in the beginning to make this shit go to the targets that these books said they were supposed to happen. And sometimes they never even got close. They never would even fucking get remotely close to it. But I would still buy another book by that author. Because that's the secret. The next book, that's the fucking one he's going to tell me. He's going to tell me. He's just making me hold out for it. He wasn't, stupid. He put his logic into multiple books. So I got to keep buying his books. And it was just one more fucking thing that would compound my confusion. So I said, fuck this shit. Indicators, new indicators and new settings, and the logic of why you use this setting count for RSI and use this setting for stochastics and smooth the percent D and the percent K to this level. Fuck all that. All that effort, all that time and concern about a fucking indicator. If I just would have applied that time and energy on reading what the open, high, low, and close is and understanding liquidity and the element of time, that's what I was looking for all along. That's exactly what you're looking for. But you can't recognize it because you listen to all this other bullshit from other people. Because you've probably seen them make a trade, it was profitable. Maybe they take money out of a funded account. Maybe they've done other shit. They've shown profitability. None of that shit is what makes markets go up and down. They just got lucky like I did in the beginning. That's all it is. And money management has preserved them. That's all it is. Now, what happens, folks? What happens when you take the best of money management and risk management and you couple it with highly precise, time-based price action? That's not guesswork. That's not cherry picking. That's sound logic that repeats every fucking day. And they can't hide it from you. They can't change it from you. It can't be changed. It's the way it is, folks. And I can't say any more than that. I promise you, it's not going to change. You're going to get trades wrong. There's going to be crazy movements that come out of nowhere sometimes, and it's going to probably hurt your account, hurt other people. It doesn't change anything. That's manipulation. That's the category you just, okay, that was something I couldn't control. Nobody could have made money in that situation. It is what it is. Continue on. Resume back to what you're looking for. Time and price. You're not getting caught up. I just had 2 losing trades. Something's different now. Nothing's different except for the account balance. Continue on. It'll take care of itself. So take your attention to the meat on the middle of the bone. That's where you can always find your ends meet. You all want to do like I did, catch the highest high and the lowest low. Because unless you do that, you're not successful. You're not worth talking about. When I was on America Online, when I first was coming up, I wanted to be able to go on America Online. Message boards back then, that's how we were doing things. And I wanted to talk about how I got in this trade at the highest high and got out at the lowest low. That was my pursuit. That was my goal. That was the whole reason why I was wanting to trade, because I wanted the public approval. I wanted to have people look at me like a hero. Think about that now. Contrast that with what I do today. I can do this stuff for now. I won't be able to do it later on when I'm older. Mental faculties will diminish. I hope I don't experience that, because I don't ever want to live a day where I can't do what I'm doing. That would be hell for me. I wouldn't want to be able to do that. But I can look back and say how I would have always been striving to do what I'm doing and capable of doing right now, and encouraged public worship because I needed it. I was a young man looking for approval. I had lost my grandfather, the one I lived with and helped deliver picnic tables on this cash business he ran. I didn't get that talk like you're getting from me right now, like I used to get from him all the time. He never sat down, son, and say to me, son, I love you. You're making me proud. You're doing this and you're doing that. He was a Navy man. But I knew he loved me. I knew when I did hit the mark, he'd say, good boy. And the only time I heard him ever say, I'm proud of you, is when I graduated high school. And he said he wasn't going to go that day. And I was sitting up on the bleachers and I saw his green pickup truck pull in the parking lot. And he walked in, leaned in the doorway, watched me walk across, and got in his truck and drove away. 2 days I waited for him to say something about how he saw me go across the stage to get my diploma. I said, I saw you at the back of the stadium. I'm proud of you, boy. I gave everything I got to hear him say it again. He was a hard man to be under, but I miss him. And I know learning from me isn't easy, but it works. It works, and other people out there that are putting the work behind it, they're seeing the results. And you will too. And they're all going to come to you at a different time schedule. How long is it going to take? I don't know. Some of you might go through this with me in 4 months. Something clicks. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I see it. I see what I'm supposed to be looking for. That's mine. This is my model. And that feeling, that fucking confidence, that